Are you recording video as well?
Yeah, just in case we get a good clip of us because it's trending. And your haircut looks great.
Great. And I got a
And
little gay
my tits
background.
are out. So
Titty McShitty. I could put a no. I gotta.
just call me McShitty.
Yeah.
You. You.
Titty
My
Mc
tits are great.
Titty McWitty.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Take that one. Hello, and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast. I'm your co-host, John. That is your co-host, Nick. We are the Secret InGAYsion. We're here to talk about the new MCU TV show, Secret Invasion, Episode 1. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
I think everyone should just be every week is just going to be the Secret InGAYsion.
Secret
Welcome to the
InGAYsion.
Secret InGAYsion recap show.
Step 1. Although I did so what this episode is going to be about, it's going to be like almost like a mini episode. We're just going to review the first episode. So obviously spoilers for the first episode of
Massive spoilers, all spoilers.
We've been talking about this for a while. We just want to, on a Wednesday when they're coming out, we're going to talk about it. We're going to speculate. We're going to see what we saw and then just release it on the day. So minimal editing. You're just going to get, us raw. Basically.
Raw and unedited and unhinged.
We'll have to cut in an intro, I suppose. Our little doodle.
No, we just start with the doodlers.
It takes. Oh yeah, of course. I'll do that. It'll be fine.
The intro's at the beginning.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I literally was thinking about the show actually and how because I've made notes. I made more notes for this episode than I have about other things I'll talk about. But the intro itself, which we should talk about, is like 6 or 7 minutes into it, and so kind of in my brain I was thinking we're going to talk for a bit, and then we'll do our little intro with a do, and then we'll continue on. But that's not how
the podcast works.
So, thanks for joining us. We're here to talk about the first episode. Thoughts? Overall thoughts?
Good.
You literally just finished watching it. We have not talked about this at all.
No.
Just good. I thought it was good as well. I thought it was really solid. I think that's high praise as well.
I think because it is Nick Fury who's been in a ton of the films and Maria Hill who's been in a ton of the films, but it feels very separate from everything else that's going on. Well, that's what I need. I need to stop having bullshit expectations and looking for, is this maybe a secret character that's actually this person that's from the comics? And it's like, just watch a good show with other stuff. So I feel like it is quite good at that, or at least we're this far removed from it that
it's refreshing. Like it's a good solid Earth story.
Very grounded, punchy, runny, shooty, fighty thing.
Yeah, spy espionage kind of thing.
I love spy shit. Fucking love spy shit.
It's good. So like we've had like all the movies that we've been sort of talking about over the past year, even most of them have been sort of, there's been an element of some cosmic entities,
very cosmic-y, yeah.
And it's really, really, it's refreshing to have somebody on Earth. Did he say in this episode as well? Nick Fury is like, I don't want any. There's no superheroes in this series. We think. I have a.
No, I don't think so.
I have a theory.
Of course, that's what we're here for. I've got one small theory, which I think is a really obvious one that everyone will it's either quite a divisive, very obvious one. But
well, this might be a bit of a okay. So basically, there's a Marvel app game that I play, and there's like a special, like they do a lot with all the releases, the films and the TV shows. There's a special sort of event going on, and Hawkeye is in the event for some reason. I don't know why. So there's like I'm wondering if that's an oopsie on their part. It's like, Hawkeye is going to show up, but we'll see. That's a really sort of there's no clue that he is going to show up, he or she.
She. If Kate does it, that's fine.
Bishop does, yeah.
Stop giving Renner work. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like the Jeremy Renner version. Barton Hawkeye. But that's my only theory. The rest of the notes that I have are basically just sort of us ideas and things that I've seen. How do you want to do this? Do you want to like go through it chronologically through the episode,
Well,
or
we could, or yeah, should we? Yeah. I mean,
as you can tell, dear listener, we have
we did
talked
not
about this
prepare.
a lot.
We're not. I feel nervous. It feels like live. We'll do it live. Oh shit.
We should do
Um,
that. No, but we could. There's a good reason we didn't. All three of our fans will listen to it.
yes.
We'll tune in. Okay, let's talk about the tone because I
Yep.
know there's this espionage thing,
Hmm.
this theme that it starts off right off the bat like we don't know who to trust.
Hmm.
There's people who aren't who you think they are, kind of thing. Which is the sort of we think it's narration, but then you realize it's the man that Ross is talking to, and it just sets the scene for this distrust. And in that opening scene, I'm right away. I'm like, is Ross a Skrull?
Ross is absolutely a scroll. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was kind of a giveaway. And the thing is, like, when there's that chase scene with the other Russian speaking person, it kind of it was a bit. I thought it was a bit like anticlimactic how he just sort of falls off the,
Oh, it
the
was a good fall though. Like splat. That was
yeah.
good
Like, why did
because
he
I don't
jump?
really like Martin Freeman. I enjoyed watching him splat.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So that's a bit of a so it sets the stage for this espionage thing, and I'll get back to that point in a second. But I also want to ask you: do you think Ross was a Skrull? How long has he been a Skrull, or is it just this?
I think just this one. I don't think he's interesting enough or an important enough character where it's like, oh my god, he was a Skrull in Wakanda. Like, who? No one cares, right?
That doesn't make sense. I
It
mean,
doesn't matter. It was just for this, and probably quite important if they've like captured him and scanned his memories, like they're doing with the other ones,
yeah,
like to kind of show that he
yeah,
didn't have to be him the whole time. Which, in some cases where it's shapeshifters taking over, they don't get the knowledge, but because of this
yeah. His
tech setup,
mind,
which is set up in Captain Marvel, so it's not a brand new thing.
yes,
They have the ability to scan your memories and get access to memories. So they don't have to have been a scroll the whole time. They can catch up and take over at any point, which I think makes it more exciting.
yeah.
You won't trick them up that kind of way.
So the mind control, no, sorry, not the mind control, the mind sort of stealing, the memory stealing powers, which I don't think is part of their innate capabilities. It's like I think the tech helps them, from what I gathered. Um,
Indeed.
and we do see it in Captain Marvel film as
Mhm.
well. Like that doesn't mean that everybody who is being copied is being locked away. Like the last time we
No.
saw Ross was he was being rescued by Okoye in the back of some prison transport thing.
Yeah, that's just if they want the memories, they have to
Yeah,
capture them. That's
yeah.
what it
So
is, I guess. Yeah.
there's nothing to say. So basically, I agree. I don't think he's been a Skrull the whole time. I think it's just this appearance.
Yeah.
Because it's not explained why he's in Moscow. If he was just taken into custody or something by the Wakandans, we don't know. But yeah, I so that was a big question. I was like, what you thought about that? I didn't think it was. So with going along with the spy thing, we've got this. So it's like infiltration. We've got infiltration. There are some comedic aspects of it, but it's not sort of jokey for the sake of being a joke. For example, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where it's like you obviously know that there's jokes coming,
Yep.
but if you talk about the sort of the broy relationship between Nick Fury and Talos or Talos, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, how do they pronounce it? I would have said Talos.
I think Nick Fury and Maria Hill both say Talos when they go, it's you, Taylor. Or but I think Talos is just sounds better, but who knows?
Does
It's
sound better.
his name. He can pronounce it however he wants to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's obviously the comedic aspects come from the relationships between the characters. It's not sort of forced
Yeah.
into the script, which is not to say that that's what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but there are certain moments where you're like, I can tell this is comedy coming. But in this particular show, in this episode, I think the comedy worked really well because it didn't take center stage. It just sort of developed the characters more
And they
thoroughly.
swear. And he's swearing in it, and I love it.
Oh, he does swear.
Yeah.
See, like I missed that in the in the Guardians film as well. But doesn't he say he
They
drops a
haven't
few?
said fuck, and I'm not sure that if they'll say fuck on Disney Plus.
Did he not? Did
He
he not
says
drop it?
shit a lot, so that's cool.
He does say shit.
He said it a
Yeah.
couple of times, and I like that. That's fun.
Didn't he when he's in the art gallery and he's sitting in that chair? Great scene, by the way. And he's like,
Oh yeah,
you get Doesn't he drop an MF bomb or something? It's like you get
No, you just think he
one
does
free
because it's
line.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, maybe that's
But
it's
no,
he doesn't though. Okay, fine.
like comfy ass chair or shit, this is comfy. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah, it would be weird to have a spy thriller thing with Samuel L. Jackson. Gosh darn it. You
yeah.
got away. Like you
Dang.
come on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so the tone was great, and the tone. So there's like the also in spy thrillers, there's like a sense of danger as well, and I think you got that, and you like even you as the viewer, you see one thing, and then it turns out to be something else, and you're left asking questions. It kind of makes you watch harder, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think this episode pulled that off really well.
Do we want to go in chronological order or can we just jump around? Because if we're talking about stakes,
We're already jumping around.
I feel like that's an important part to make. Like the stakes and setting it up with that final scene is kind of an important thing.
Yeah. Should we talk about the final scene then?
Who cares? Like, yeah.
Okay.
So Maria Hill getting shot,
Yes.
I think, is a really important part because, like you said, you're establishing it, you're establishing the tone, like what's going to happen. Even like, oh my god, they blew the place up. They blew the place up, but like Samuel L. Jackson's just Fury's just kind of like walking around in it, so it's not like 9/11 blowed up. It's just some explosions that hurt some people.
It's like an improvised device one off, which is still dangerous.
It didn't feel like that's not the threat, that's the warning, right? It's not
that's the
a big deal.
The instigating event that's going to start.
It's just they're just shit stirring, that sort of stuff.
And we did see it in trailers as well. We did see an explosion in Moscow in the trailers.
Oh, I don't remember them.
Okay.
But yes, that was just to like start fights, wasn't it? They were pretending to be, what is it? Americans
against Russia. They're trying. I think. Well, the thought process now is, are they going to try to? What's probably going to happen is they're going to try to blame the Americans, or they're going to.
That's what they were saying, right? In the chat with Olivia Colman, that they're going to try and shit stir.
They're basically shit stirring, and I think Nick Fury does say that as well. Like their whole MO is just to cause chaos, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, so the final scene is Gravik, the bad guy.
Gravik with a G.
Gravik
with a G.
Shooting Maria Hill in the stomach, and she dies.
So I was watching it because I'm an actor nerd, and I remember looking through all the names at the beginning, like yes, okay, Samuel L. Jackson, and at the end is like Olivia Colman and Don Cheadle, and you're like fine. And then as I'm watching, it's like hang on, I didn't see
Colby Smulders.
I didn't see Colby Smulders. So what's happening is she like a guest star kind of thing. Yeah, she's a special guest star at the end, and Everett Ross and Martin Freeman
and whatever. Yeah. However, I don't think she's dead.
You know what? You know how I say it. You know how I feel about deaths is if you undercut the deaths by saying they're not dead, they got to do it pretty quickly because obviously, I don't know. How are they going to let? It depends what happens in the next episode. So if they let her death be a mourning sort of tragic thing, then they can make it work.
Yeah, do you think it will work if they do? Because I was waiting for them to at the I think that's a climax, but a great twist would have been as they panned out, she changes back to a Skrull.
Yeah,
I thought they would do that, but that doesn't mean they won't still do that. This is my theory bit. They'll flash back to it and they'll like do that and then see her turn into a Skrull.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. But does
that undermine it? Is that a bit of a cheap shit shot if they do that? It's only 6 episodes. Not like she's going to be dead for long. I don't know.
They'd have to do that right away in the second season or something. But the thing is, like, well, I don't know, because I'm assuming it's Talos that pulls Nick Fury at the very last moment away. Like, no, we can't stay. We got to go. Yeah. But then why would he do that? It's because Maria's not totally dead. It's not like totally dead, and maybe Talos is hiding something. Like he doesn't want Nick Fury to know that she's a Skrull or something. But I don't know. There's too many layers going on.
No. I don't think that.
Because the only person that we've seen imitate Maria Hill was Soren, who was the wife of Talos, whom we are told is
dead. Do you think she's not dead?
I can't trust anybody. I'm crazy.
This is what I want. I
can't. Like, that's a big conspiracy theory. So,
but that's what this whole show's about.
Yeah.
Is Olivia Colman a Skrull?
That's another question. Whether
I
she
think
is
she should be.
whether she is or she's not, she's fucking fabulous doing
I
whatever she's
love
doing.
her. I love her.
I
Like,
love her.
just do this. Just let's just have Olivia Colman come in and be like M from James
Yeah.
Bond and just talk shit.
She's
Love it.
fantastic, no matter what she does.
Oh,
She's, and you could tell that she's having fun as well. Because when you're an actor who's won an Oscar
yeah.
and a whole bunch of other stuff, and people love you, you can just have fun doing whatever you want to, and it
Yes.
comes off. And you know,
This Marvel TV show. Yeah. Well, I want this. I'm going to spend the whole show and all these episodes theorizing. Everyone's a Skrull.
yeah.
Is Nick Fury a Skrull? I don't know. Possibly. Could be. I don't
I don't
know. And at
know.
some point, he might be. That's what you want. That's what you want for this.
Let's talk about the scrolls then, because that's I want to be clear, because I obviously have no comic book references with their shape. I'm going to talk about their powers, because with their shape shifting powers, you obviously there's limits to it, but it's very hard for humans. It's very hard for humans apparently to tell. Like, is there any way you can tell, or is it just when they die they turn back into a scroll? I'm assuming other scrolls can tell who's shapeshifted. I'm assuming that.
Not always. I don't think that's ever been canonically said that Skrulls can identify other Skrulls.
Okay, so that's not even a thing. What about
No.
telepaths? I know we don't have any in the
I would
shows.
assume a telepath could. It's not. It's a moot point because there's no telepaths in the MCU. So
There's one in the quantum realm.
is there?
Yeah, William Jackson Harper played the guy with the stone in his hair. Yeah.
Yeah. What a waste of William Jackson Harper in that
Underused, yeah.
bullshit scene. Anyway, um, that's a moot point. I know that during Secret Invasion they did the whole process where they kind of took on it was like an extra layer of shapeshifting that they had to do with technology so that they could replicate their memories, that they wouldn't be detected. I assume that also meant that they could
Okay.
replicate powers, because in the comic books it's Spider-Woman, who turns out was the Skrull Queen the whole time.
Yeah.
Spider-Woman, Elektra,
Yeah.
Giant Man, some others that I've forgotten about.
But it's not that many though. So it's not
No,
like
it wasn't
we,
everyone, but it was a few, and they'd been a Skrull for a long time. But they did duplicate their powers, so that they used technology to augment it,
yeah.
and I assume too, because there's a shit ton of telepaths in the comics, so
Right.
they would have had to have some sort of stuff for that. But
And there are
no,
scrolls that can copy the Fantastic Four powers as well.
only Super Skrull, and that's again with technology. Like he
Right.
needs technology to provide the power to him. And if that's a Skrull,
Super Skrull is one character, not like a
it's
faction. Okay.
no, it's a Super Skrull.
Right.
I think there have been multiple Super Skrulls. I apologize. I'm not a die-hard Fantastic Four comic book reader.
Mm-hmm.
There may have been different iterations and that sort of stuff and similar technology. But yeah, the original premise is that he needed technology to augment his powers to do that.
All four of them. Interesting.
Yeah.
So Skrulls are super strong as well, aren't they?
I guess, which is something I hadn't thought about because my limited experience with Skrulls, they're always fighting superheroes. So
Mm-hmm.
not really. Their main thing is their stealth. And because when it's a Skrull Kree war, Kree are, like, that's their main thing, is that they're strong.
Yeah.
Um,
And
or
I think
strong as
it's
well, some of them
I
are.
think it's I think it's established that the Kree basically wiped out the Skrull, which is why they're looking for a new home in the first place, I guess.
Yeah, that in the films, like in the comics, the Kree War was a Kree Skrull, whatever.
The Skrull,
Was a bigger thing in like the 80s, I think. But no, it's never explicitly said that they're super strong. But I loved how they were in this. It was just a nice little subtle extra strength, like when the guy in the fight, when he stopped himself, just pushed his hand up against the wall. Or
Oh
when,
yeah,
like,
yeah, the art guy.
ooh, I wasn't expecting that, but it's nice. It's
Yeah.
a superpower that looks really good. It's not excessive. It's just a little bit Jessica Jonesy kind of style. It's just a little
Yes.
extra that makes the fights really
Oh, I
good and really
miss
fun.
her.
I miss her so much. I can't wait for her to come back. This is not a Jessica
Fun
Jones.
fact about that one as well, because I had a bit of time. I didn't rewatch. I watched the episode this morning, and I didn't rewatch the whole thing. I wanted to go back through a couple of things and turn the captures on because I thought I'd missed some things. But that guy in the art dealership, who turns out to be a Skrull, when you see Gaia, Emilia Clarke's character, go into like the back room, and it's when you first see the little brain zappy things. He's in there. He's like, you can just see him, like, but he's very clear. He's on the right side. Like, that must be the human that they're copying. So he's in there, and it was a bit of a, I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, I suppose, more of like a flash. What's it called?
a noteworthy thing.
Oh fuck! What's the
Mm.
um a sneak peek kind of hint for something?
Sure.
A clue. What's the word? I can't think of the
Clue.
word.
A clue will work fine.
It's like a literary device.
All right, let's not drag this out. We're live.
Anyway, so super strong. That's fine. The mind copy thing is basically like a technology thing. They're immune to radiation, and that was a bit of a piss take kind of
It's a
thing.
bit of a throwaway line just so they can use, well, it is a throwaway line. It's just so they can use like stark Russian Chernobyl backdrop, which
Sure,
fine. The
fine.
other great throwaway line, which you're like, oh, clever, when Amelia Clark is like, we stay in our human shells to like get better practice at it. It's like, what a way to save on CGI.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Makeup
that's fine.
fast.
You said it, it's established, and we don't need to talk about it anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, why are
So
you
that extra
still
in the back is still just he's military.
It's like, why are you staying in human form? And it's like, it was handled better than they handled the entire X-Men franchise with Mystique. It's like, why the fuck are you blonde, Mystique?
Yeah.
They didn't mention that. One line in Amelia Clark's already done it. It's like, yeah, we stay better so that we don't slip up. That makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, like the memories, whatever else.
Yep.
I got a question. This relates to Mystique as well. Like, what about clothes?
Oh my god, I was thinking that too.
What's up with the clothes? Because we've seen Skrulls wear clothes in Captain Marvel, and they can especially at the end when you see Gravik going between the little girl with a big fucking rainbow ball, and then morphs into the old man from who
Where'd
is
the
in the
ball
bar.
go?
Where'd the ball go? Is the ball part of his body? And then he goes into the woman who I didn't realize, but it's actually the woman on the bench that Nick Fury walks
The making
past.
out one, yeah.
The making out one.
I saw that one.
Which I don't know if that was meant to be, if that was meant to say that was Gravik the whole time, or Gravik was just following him and copying all these new people as he's going through.
Probably.
Which makes more sense.
That makes more sense, and I like it. I mean, the giant rainbow ball is very much like a whatever. It's like, okay, that's obviously something. That's not no random Russian kid has a giant rainbow ball. Like
playing with a rainbow ball.
Look this way. Like, yes, we get it. We're distracted. We'll pay attention.
The only gay thing as well in the whole episode.
That's true. You won't get much.
Unless you think that the Gravik was that woman on the bench and he was making out with the other guy. That could have been a thing.
Like, come on. Skrulls cannot be straight.
No.
Gender cannot be a thing.
They don't have the same concept. They don't have the same references, the same frame, I suppose. Like sexuality, gender, it's not a thing. Like, okay, fine, you can find somebody who's a mate, but in their true form,
you smush your genes together.
Basically, yeah. Alien races. We just
can't. They should mention that. That would be really good for Pride. For Pride, Marvel. Talk about gay Skrulls.
They should have known.
Poly Skrulls.
Polyamorous Skrulls.
No, Pan. Sorry, Pan. And possibly Poly. Who's to say it has to be two when it's not two specific sexes and genders? Just smush them all together. Smush all your bits together.
It just reminds me of that.
What does Skrull genitalia look like? What do you think he does?
Is it like, I don't know, because they're humanoid, because that's really how a lot of sci-fi things happen. That's how sci-fi is.
In the comics, they can change into anything, not like Mystique, who can just turn into other humans. Skrulls can turn into animals and alien creatures and like change bits of their bodies, like if they want wings and stuff, that kind of thing.
That's really handy sometimes.
It's a cool power.
It's really cool. Mystique does turn into Statue of Liberty in that one X-Men film as well.
Yeah, she can't do that. That's crap.
Why not?
She can't do that in the comics.
Whatever. She can just change her skin, and she just clothes as well, I suppose.
But she is naked. So no, I don't know.
Are they naked when they change?
I don't know. I think it's such an important thing that everyone who's a shapechanger has to address that. And I know they did this, I remember, in DC Legion of Superheroes. And abstract, there's a character, Changeling, I think, whatever. He's like a zany kind of morph character, and he changes. And at one point someone says, it's like, wait, your clothes change too. Does that mean you're naked the whole time? He's like, yeah, isn't it great? I was like, oh my God, I love it.
I love it.
It's like, yeah, of course, I'm naked right now.
Yeah, naked right now, technically. Because there's the one Skrull who comes to the gates and he's like, I just want a home to live in my skin, whatever. And then Amelia Clark comes out and says, show me your true skin or whatever. And he just changes his face, not his clothes. So was he wearing clothes? Yeah. Was he naked?
I wonder if that's one of those things where we have to just be, don't worry about it.
It's a hand wavy thing for sure.
Yeah, maybe they can, but they don't always.
Do they have any other powers that we need to be aware of?
Again, I don't know. I
No,
don't
we'll
think
see.
so.
We'll
I don't
see.
think so.
I mean, they've been established since Captain Marvel, so we can just sort of. And the thing is, like, they weren't like on. Most of them weren't on human side anyway in the comics. I'm assuming that was really. I remember reading somewhere that was a big thing for
They were
the
never
kind of
good guys.
twist for that film.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's expecting them to be the bad guys because they are in the comics.
Yeah.
But no, they've never been. They've never been good guys. There's
Okay.
been an odd one here and there. One married Johnny Storm.
Okay.
She was a Skrull, but then she was pretending to be someone else. Oh, it was drama. It's very 90s, a very 90s soap opera
Yeah.
storyline. I loved it. That was fun.
I
Like
mean,
what? He married Alicia Masters, was Ben Grimm's now wife, and then Alicia turned out to be a Skrull the whole time. Oh, and then they had to get space divorced. It was all a thing.
Space divorce.
Yeah.
That is 90s.
That's very 90s. LA Law was in its prime season by then.
Oh yeah. It serves right for like the whole sort of spy thriller kind of thing, and that whole post Cold War.
It's great. I love all the vibe. I love
vibe.
I love the pace setting. Like it's very like nice, chill. Well, not chill, but it's not a million different massive long characters. It's just like here's a new one, here's a new one, alien, fun.
Yeah. Here's the new one that's like we've taken this person, this person, this person from the older films. This person's coming back. Here's a new person that we need to pay attention to. We're talking about it. Here's another new person who's an ally of Fury. She's English. She's great. And it's not too much, and it works so far. And there's never a dull. There's never a slow moment.
I like. Yeah, it's always dangerous when you do something. I hate when they rely too much on established characters or past characters, or when they're like, if it's a new thing, they're like, oh, like I love Star Trek, but they're like in Picard, they're like, oh, you're Geordie LaForge's daughter. Like, fuck off. Like, not everything has to be
related somehow.
So connected.
Yeah,
like, you can just have new characters. It's fine. You got to take your time to establish them.
Yeah, give them a reason, give them the backstory, give them a motivation. So that's a really nice segue into my next point, which is let's talk about Gravik, the villain. He's already set up. We don't know a lot about him, which is fine, but we do see him.
Sexy.
Very good looking guy. Is he related to Ben Kingsley? Or am I making that up? I meant to look that up.
I thought that too, because his name just looks like Ben Kingsley, but it's not.
His name is Kingsley Ben -.
He can't be related to him if he doesn't have the same surname. He just has them backwards.
No, he's. I'm just looking it up right now. British actor. He was in a bunch of stuff. Nothing.
Lots of Brits also love that. Very spy vibes. That's three Brits, an Australian.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn is Australian.
Yes, he is.
Nope, nothing. It just says he was born to.
Of course, he's not Ben Kingsley's relation because his name is Kingsley Ben.
Why were they? Never mind.
Dumb.
Nothing. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, so the villain. He's. We see him talking about his motivation to one of the new recruits, and it makes us understand him a bit more as a villain, which is great because obviously we've got the character of Gaia who is maybe flipping sides or not sure where she's going to fall. That's great. We can follow that. That's the sort of familial relation. But we don't have a lot of good villains in the TV shows. So I wrote a couple down. It's like we've had really sort of bad luck with villains. We've got Ms. Marvel had that sort of that they're called the clandestine, whatever. They went nowhere.
They went nowhere. They were spent so long being this. Oh, surprise! We're actually aliens. Oh, and we're dead now.
Yeah, we've been waiting for 100 years. No, we're just gonna hand it over right now.
It's a shame.
Loki didn't have a really good villain. She-Hulk didn't have a villain because it wasn't that kind of show.
No.
Hawkeye didn't really have a good villain because it wasn't. Really,
it had Kingpin.
It had Kingpin, but he wasn't even like promoted. He wasn't even promoted as the show started. It was meant to be a reveal kind of thing. I mean, what were they called? The tracksuit gang, whatever. They weren't a real threat, whatever. We did have Agatha.
Well, they did. The mum was the baddie. And then Agatha, come on.
Wait, you mean Vera Farmiga was supposed to be a villain in Hawkeye?
The mum was the villain. She was the mastermind, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she was trying to. I mean, I think she was a proper villain because she was trying to get out of the work, wasn't she?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Anyway,
Agatha,
who
is a breakaway star,
was a breakaway star, and I think she definitely a lot of that show's success is credited to her. She's about it. I mean, the only thing that's kind of close to that
Oh, fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
are
Fuck
the
off with that.
flag
Oh,
smashers. Now, the reason that the thing is, like, they didn't
awful.
work because of many things, like the whole story was being upended and everything else. But they had
Yeah.
the most potential because they had an understandable motivation. Like, they wanted to put things back to the way they were during the blip. You know, these people have come
Yeah.
back, their resources are being taken away. They had an understandable. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to agree with it, but it has to be understandable. And so
Yeah, it didn't
that
deliver.
failed in other ways. But this one in here, I can understand what they're doing. It's explained very well. They're saying the young people, it's always the young people who are radicalized. They they're sick of waiting for their home, and that makes sense. I quite like it. I want to see what more of this
Yeah,
villain.
I quite like it too. And because, again, ITC in the comics, it's Galactus that destroys the home world, not the Kree.
Right.
Which I think is a big dramatic twist. After they've been so powerful for so long, they're just completely fucking devastated because their home world is gone and wiped out and that sort of stuff. So again, they're, as opposed to in the early days of comics where they're like trying to take over the world to like expand their empire or whatever 1960s villainy style. In the newer one, in the Secret Invasion, their world is gone, so it's much more. It feels quite territorial and quite desperate. It's still vicious and evil. They're not really sympathetic, but it feels a lot more motivated because they're like, they don't have a world, and they're like, right, we're going to take this one. So and that kind of works with this kind of young radicalized warfare kind
army,
of thing.
I suppose. Yeah,
I like it.
Faction.
Yeah,
it makes sense. And like, even though we hope that they are going to fail because they're the bad guys, we want them to have a resolution.
Yeah.
In a way, we want
What is the resolution? Let's do predictions.
Well, okay, let's do predictions. We know Fury's going to survive because he shows up in the trailer for the Marvels. So nothing bad has happened to him. I predict that all of this, oh, my leg is going to limp, and oh, I'm really out of sorts, and I'm not thinking ahead. I think that's all a front. I think he's definitely thinking ahead. He's going to, next episode, he's going to shave his beard. He's going to be all
that fucking awful
young and spry.
beard. Oh, yeah.
Get his eye patch back, whatever.
I think it's going to take more than one episode for him to do that. That's going to be his like Rocky transformation moment. But
yeah,
that's
he's going to be like a dramatic staring in the mirror kind of thing, like, oh, I need to decide what I'm going to do now, and I need to move on from the
or is he going to be, like you said, like, is it a fake out, and he's going to spend like 4 episodes making shit mistakes and then getting people caught, and then whoever it is, whether it's the Skrulls or Olivia Colman the Skrull, like thinking they've won, and then it's like in true Fury style, it's like, oh no, I knew you'd do that, so this is what's happened. This person's Hawkeye's shown up, and this kind of thing. But then this.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way to beat Skrulls is to kind of like outsmart them. They're
outsmart them.
Maybe I think that'd be cool, and that would be quite fitting.
Yeah, I think that would have to be about maybe episode 3 or 4. How about because there's only 6 episodes?
No, that could be the end. That's a twist. I don't know.
There's got to be like some sort of big showdown. We have to know what the stakes really are. If we spend 5 episodes thinking about Nick Fury being out of step, it's not going to be really watchable.
But no, he could just suck. He could just fail because his head's not in the right place because he was screwed up by the blip.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. We do see him go into a graveyard, not a graveyard, like a mausoleum, and get like some gear. I suppose maybe that's his moment of transformation. God, I can't speak. But when that's going to happen, I don't know.
Okay, I could be down for that.
What do you think? Yeah. No,
my big thing is like, I think Olivia's a Skrull, and that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd really enjoy that.
I still think that Don Cheadle's a Skrull. Like I told you before.
What?
I've told you this before. That was I said weeks ago. I was like, my prediction of the show. Something's off about Rhodey. He's a Skrull.
You did. What was your reasoning for that?
Okay, a couple of reasons. He just is acting odd. He's never wearing his suit.
He's never wearing his suit.
Never wearing his suit anymore. He broke his fucking back as well, and he seemed to heal from that really fast. It would make a lot of sense if he said, no, he's still like in a wheelchair, and he's got a Skrull to sort of be his substitute.
No, he had the armor stuff legs to walk around in, and he wasn't.
I suppose that is right.
He was in the Endgame fight.
He was.
As War Machine. He was wearing his suit then.
Okay. I don't know, but he just like it just
Okay.
makes it makes logical. I shouldn't be think of it this way, but it makes logical literary sense that he is like next to the president and
It's
is
good.
only
That's a good twist because no one gives a shit about Rhodey. No
exactly
one's looking at
exactly
Rhodey. Everyone's expecting Maria to be a thing, Nick to
yeah
be a Skrull, and all the while it's fucking Rhodey. That would be, and like you said, he's right next to the president,
the
who's
president
sexy McDermott or whatever his name is,
close
Dermot
enough.
Dermot Mulroney online or whatever.
Derp. Oh, I want to get it wrong now.
Mulroney?
Isn't it
No,
Dermot Mulroney?
Dermot. Yeah, my best
Yeah.
friend's Dermot. That's fun. That could be cool.
How
Maybe reaching though. It may be.
fine.
Let's not do a.
That's like my long shot bet. Like I'll put money on this one. Not a
Yeah,
lot, just enough.
that's
See
good. No, okay. Yeah, let's take some swings. Oh,
see.
that's more
You think
fun.
Olivia is?
Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be cool. I think that if she is, she has to be revealed as to be one quite early on. I don't think
Yeah.
that's. Here's a brand new character who's a bitch. What? She's a Skrull. I don't think that's to be a big twist if they leave that to the end.
No,
Like,
because we don't know enough about her to
exactly.
be
It's like
invested.
surprise. She's like, who cares? I think they
Who
could do
cares?
that early on, and that'd be fun.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
then,
then we know about where her allegiances lie. But doesn't she
can
have a
you
lot of
imagine
history with?
Olivia Colman suddenly like kicking fucking ass and like punching through stuff in her little red dress, just like, oh, I love it. Okay,
With a gun as well? She's gonna shoot. Oh, she in one of the trailers, she's like walking into some interrogation room, isn't she? We'll see more of her for sure.
what's her? Sorry, I know we probably should have talked about this. If she's not a Skrull, what the fuck is her problem? What's her angle? Is she trying? What's she trying to do? She's trying to stop the Skrulls, but hates Nick Fury, who's also trying to stop the Skrulls. I don't get it.
I don't think she hates Nick Fury. I think she just it's one of those scenes where they're both trying to determine what the other person knows and get information out of them. Because then we see her assuming that she doesn't know that the little surveillance owl, whatever
She
is.
absolutely does.
Do you think so? Because she's
Yeah.
like, Nick Fury is here. Something big must be going on, and she doesn't know. So she's obviously part of MI6 in Moscow and knows about the Skrulls, but not enough to stop the explosion. Or she doesn't move, or her organization isn't moving fast enough for her liking.
Or it's not trying to stop it. Maybe it's just trying to work with it, with the Skrulls.
Maybe.
Because it's for England. If America and Russia want to fight, cool. Maybe England will be the good guys. I don't know. I'm just.
One can hope.
Oh, God, no, we're not. We never will be.
What
Just
do you think?
ideas.
Last question for you. What do you think about Gaia?
She's very small.
She's very small. Oh,
Emilia Clarke is so small, and when she's got that awful wig on next to normal humans and not riding dragons, of course it is. Everything's a wig.
Everything's a wig, I suppose. Yeah.
Everything's a wig in films
because it makes sense for the TV show. It makes sense to have a wig on because you don't ever need haircuts,
or to have your hair done for continuity.
That's true.
The next day of filming, you just
never thought of that. Just put
you should. You're an actor.
Yeah, but I'm not wearing a wig anyway. Is she flipping or is she sticking with her guns?
Well, I think that will be again referencing the comics, or not referencing, but like a familiar kind of vibe. If she does go back and forth, and you're not 100% sure when. So before Secret Invasion, it was the launch of the new Avengers. So Scarlet Witch goes crazy, kills a load of people. Avengers disband House of M.
Okay. Right? Don't ask me. I'm just like.
Well, do you know what House of M is? All that kind of stuff.
Where they sort of reset.
No more mutants. Anyway, that's when they start the new Avengers with Captain America, Wolverine. Is it Wolverine? Luke Cage, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, maybe someone else.
Okay.
And a big part of like the initial run of that is Spider-Woman is working with Nick Fury, and then you find that out that she's spying on them, but then they find out, and she's like, oh, and then she works with them, and so she becomes a double agent, then a triple agent, and it's all back and forth and that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's like not a big part, but it's a part of it. So everyone's like, do we trust her? Who is she? Like, why is she something about the event? That sort of thing. But it works out fine. But then she turns out to be the Skrull Queen, so it's like a quadruple.
Oh, right.
Like after all that, they carry on, put that behind them, carry on. So that's kind of the whole point of this show, isn't it? It's like,
yeah. So Emilia Clarke is kind of taking that role then as the.
Well, I mean, no, I'm just reading into it because I love Spider-Woman and love Emilia Clarke, but it's got that same kind of, I think, vibe that would make this work.
Okay.
That you need to have that. But maybe they think they're thinking that, or they're making you think they're thinking that by
Yeah.
They got to keep you guessing back and forth, which is kind of the fun of it. So I think that's what she's going to do.
Okay.
I think she can't be like, oh, I'm not a bad guy anymore. I love you, Dad. No.
She's got to play both sides, and she's so ingrained with this Gravik faction, which is what I'm going to call them from now on. Sure. She can't just sort of say, I'm not going along with the bombing anymore. Fuck you guys, and then because then she's not safe anymore. She has to sort of. If she does flip, she's going to have to play along with them for a bit anyway. Even if she marks the bag with infrared, which is another throwaway line that was really weird. But like, why were they empty when they got a hold of them?
Oh, she's triple crossing them.
Or Gravik knows that she's going to defect and is going to.
And so she's quadruple crossing. So she threw that, knowing it didn't matter, so that gains his trust. So he doesn't think that, so that she can go back. A lot of that. I'm here for that. I want that. Lots of the back and forth.
Okay, yeah, we'll see where the chips land.
That's what I think.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Anything else you want to mention?
No, I mean we haven't said what's happened in the episode, but that's fine. I don't want to do like a scene by scene one because I can't.
We don't need to do that because people who are going to watch this, who listen to our episode here, are going to either not care about the show or have already seen it.
Sure.
They just want to see what.
So what do you think is going to happen in episode 2? Contact us at incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. We're also on socials at incompletegeeks on Instagram and TikTok.
Please like this episode, share it with your friends if they've seen Secret Invasion. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whichever method you use. We love getting in touch with you, so please get in touch with us. If we got anything wrong, if we missed anything, we apologize. We're trying our best, but we are not complete geeks.
But we are working on it.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye.